I think that just about does it. No, that's not gonna work either. I wonder who that could be. Ah, why is it so bright? How did I not see that coming?
You seem shocked. What else were you expecting?
I walked right into that. Anyway, what can I do for you, Bright?
Just came back to return that Sondheim's Greatest Hits record I borrowed. The lyrical mastery and complex arrangements really do sound better on vinyl. Hey, what's that you're working on back there?
Just an outfit I was working on. I was listening to Rarity's Art of the Dress, and I just felt this surge of inspiration. But I've never made one before. It's missing something, but I'm not sure what.
Ooh, new to the craft, I see. Needless to say, I know a thing or two about keeping folks in stitches.
Hey, yeah, you're a seamstress, aren't you?
So much, in fact. My growing embroidery skills have led me to create many handmade plushes as gifts and commissions for family and friends, including this palm pillow I made for you.
So does that mean this song inspires you?
Absolutely. More than a dressmaker, Rarity's an artist, and as such is an inspiration to artists in any medium.
Do you want to review this song? Maybe it'll give me some ideas on how to touch up my outfit.
That actually sounds like fun. I've been wanting to take a cruise down memory lane, especially with an MLP song all the way from season 1.
Excellent! Evan's been wanting us to do a collab anyway.
So, in a means of revenge for that time Cruizer and Zach left me in Bright Ideas Punch-Out to be tortured by her puns, I was able to talk him into doing a Hoof Rock collab with her so he can feel the pain that I felt that day. You know, with the puns and everything. Thus completing the circle.
Well, what about Zach?
I left him listening to his favorite anime songs on loop.
They aren't his favorite songs, are they?
They are not.
Baby, you do know that he could just shut out the music or choose not to listen, right?
Oh, don't worry, I took care of that.
Good morning, bronies! This is the Concert Cruiser, and welcome back to Hoof Rock, where I look at the songs of MLP. And today, we're going to look at Art of the Dress with my special guest, the Princess of Puns, Bright Idea.
Thanks for having me on, Cruiser. You know what they say, 2 heads are better at puns.
So how are things at the pun shop?
Well, the corny jokes had to be restocked, the cheesy one-liners are starting to show their age, I added some extra spicy material to the saucy section, and the tomato gags are simply divine, darling. All in all, a lot of food for thought.
Is it true that you're looking into expanding into pharmaceuticals?
I'm not sure where that rumor came about, though they do say laughter is the best medicine.
Well said. Anyway, just like Rarity, you're a seamstress too, right?
Correct, though rather than dresses and other clothes, I specialize in plushes and other stuffed toys. I remember getting into the craft when I saw my sister commission an artist to make her a custom-designed Tsum Tsum doll of her character. I saw this adorable, simplified style and thought to myself, I'd love to be able to make something like that. Later that week, I saw videos on how to thread a needle, cut out a pattern, and stitch different fabrics and colors together, until I learned how to stitch together my first creations. Since then, I've basically been teaching myself how to sew for the last 2.5 years. I've stitched all sorts of designs, from my friends' cutie marks, to hearth-warming ornaments, to logos and album artwork, to full-on layered and detailed masterpieces. It takes a great deal of patience, focus, and attention to detail to make one's vision come to life, and in that regard, I very much relate to Rarity, especially in the Suited for Success episode.
Excellent. So tell me, how does a song like this inspire your creations?
From the first few notes in Art of the Dress, a mandolin for the melody and a light tambourine tap for the rhythm work together with the visuals to suggest incremental progress. Something all artists know a thing or two about. The lyrics only reinforce this theme, thread by thread,
Thread by thread,
snip by snip,
snip by snip,
hour by hour.
hour by hour.
Creativity isn't something that happens all at once. It happens bit by bit. Another element to the lyrics is the focus on the friends that Rarity is making these custom dresses for. their preferences and tastes, fussing over details, because an artist's satisfaction, at least in part, comes from their audience's satisfaction.
Indeed, a mandolin was the right choice for a song like this. Sewing is a very delicate process, and a mandolin is a very delicate instrument. I mean, listen to that! Does that sound like an instrument that can take a beating? Nope. Heck, even all the other instruments are played delicately. Plus, the lyrics have just as much precision, with each word carefully chosen and sung at just the right tempo.
Thread by thread, fringe and press, yard by yard, never stressed, and that's the art of the dress.
So tone and lyric-wise, this matches the art of sewing.
Needless to say, Art of the Dress captures the technical feel of stitchwork in particular, and the joy of creating in general, showing the audience very quickly what Rarity's character is all about. And that's only in the first part of the song.
Quite. Now, throughout this song, we hear sound effects of the process, but they are absent in the album. Would you say that takes away any inspiration from you?
Well, while there are different subtle sounds like Rarity's sewing machine, fabric scissors, and even her cat Opal throughout the song, they all add to the experience without feeling like they'd really be missed. Without those sounds, it's still a catchy song that puts me in a good productive mood, so I don't think much if anything is lost. They're like the cherry on top of an already delicious ice cream sundae.
Exactly! We should probably talk about the reprisal, too. What was that?
A better segue. Anyway, the second part of the song tackles the decidedly less glamorous aspect of being a professional artist, dealing with the client's changes. Whether you're making something for a customer or a friend, criticism is something every creative person has to come to expect at some point. That's not to say all criticism is bad. In fact, it's essential to an artist's development to learn how to handle others' interpretation of their art.
Hey, Ham! Look! I'm Picasso!
I don't get it.
You uncultured swine!
For example, I've had people who commissioned me for a piece say that they wanted a different pose or facial expression than the one I drew their character in, or a different color than I chose for a hand-sewn piece. The more a client is able to communicate clearly what they expect the artist to do, the more likely their needs will be met. Unfortunately, in cases like Rarity's, when it comes to making gifts for your friends, and they don't tell you what they wanted first, it's easy to spend a lot of time and energy doing things all over again. One could say this song addresses this issue quite well.
Not to mention, Rarity was already on a time crunch, and she knew these dresses were going to be off-putting, and the music reflects this perfectly. Everything in the music just sounds off. This in music is what's called a recitative.
Gesundheit.
Anyway, recitative is speak singing or pitch speech. Her voice is the same key as the bass and instrumentation, but the disjointed melody sometimes doesn't match the chord progression that the bass is hammering through. What this means is she's singing non-chord tones in her melody. It's not out of key, but it is jarring. And knowing Daniel and how he operates, I'm pretty sure this was intentional.
That is quite the subtle observation. I've also noticed that the lyrics and the visuals further communicate Rarity's pressure to deliver. Instead of, "I'm stitching my friend's dress," the words become, "I'm sewing them together." Instead of never stressed, it turns into always stressed. And yet she still says dressmaking is easy, perhaps making the point that just because her friends make suggestions on how they think their dresses should be made doesn't necessarily mean they're right. They simply don't have the experience or skill that Rarity has to make a truly beautiful piece.
The fact that each of the main six get a chance to sing makes the reprisal feel very crowded and busy, like there's too many cooks in the kitchen. And that's precisely the point. Let us not forget, my fellow Bronies and Pega sisters, that this song gave us the MLP meme.
It needs to be about 20% cooler.
And check this out. The first part of the song visually ends with everything spinning slowly around her head in perfect order that she's in control of. But at the end of the second part, we see Rarity spinning a lot faster and everything's a mess at her hooves because she no longer feels in control of her own creation.
And it's motifs like these that make Art of the Dress and its reprisal one of the best songs in MLP. Everything in this song has stood the test of time. The music, the lyrics, and the arrangement were all carefully crafted like one of Rarity's dresses. This whimsical song that takes you, the listener, through a journey of creativity.
For me, this song absolutely elevated Rarity as a character and gave me a lot of insight into her creative process, and by extension, content creators in general, from fields like fashion and illustration to music and movie making. Or so it seems. It's short and easy to hum, which makes it hard to get out of my head, and it always takes me back to an exciting time in my adventure as an artist.
That's it. I know exactly how to finish my outfit. Right, check it out. It's my birthday suit.
Actually, that surprisingly is still better than what the main six came up with for their dresses.
You think so? I was worried it might clash with my complexion. Here, let me show you a couple of cosplays I've been working on. I'm Iron Man.
I marvel at your resourcefulness.
Get a load of this. Now, I'm Batman.
And that is my signal to head back to the punch shop. Glad I was able to swing by.
Check this out. Now I'm...
Baby, did you ever consider the possibility that Cruizer might not get phased by puns?
Of course I considered that possibility. I'm me. So, as a backup, I rigged his monitor to explode from a pun overload.
Won't that kill him regardless of the result?
I don't know, maybe.
What was he making this outfit for anyway?
You know, I think the better question is, when is the next time I'm gonna make a Hoof Rock episode that doesn't involve me making something explode? And where's our waiter?